For either of you, you guys are a team that's historically good in the third quarter. It's not often seen on the wrong end of a tilted third like that. But was there a moment in that run that they had where it just sort of felt like the game was slipping out of reach, or just a culmination of one thing going wrong after another?
I think it was a culmination of things. We got pretty undisciplined in like the things that we wanted to get done. And I thought we did pretty good in like defending the paint, but then, they started hitting threes and we weren't getting out the way that we needed to. And then yeah, I'm sure Cheryl said this or she's going to, that they just kind of wanted it more than us tonight. Especially towards the end of the season now, we have to make sure that that's not happening in our games.
And after, I think, I believe the first loss of the season was at Seattle. After that game, Cheryl said, if you want to win this league against a team that's good, you just have to play a hell of a lot better. Is the takeaway of this game as simple as that?
I think it's any game in this league. I don't think there's anybody that you can just come in and just play and just go through the motions and beat. Especially at this time of the season, people are fighting for their lives. Like this is a Seattle team that's been struggling, and I just think that it's just like us putting 40 minutes of like Lynx basketball together. I feel like we had a good 20 minutes, but that's not going to cut it against anybody. It's not just yet.
Seattle really kind of upped the tempo and also plays with the size. Is there something about them that just kind of gives you guys trouble, matchup wise, or is it more just playing your brand of basketball throughout the whole game?
I mean, they definitely give us a different look in that, uh, their post players are super, super long. Their guards are long and Gabby and Sykes really athletic. And so, we just need to do a better job of making sure that we're playing around them, going under them, getting fakes, getting open. And that's kind of what I meant when I said some things are slipping. We need even more discipline because each team is going to have advantages in some spot, and we have to be able to be smarter and outwork them and make sure that they're not getting us on, especially the easy stuff, which we kind of gave them in that second half.
And then Lan goes out momentarily with a bloody nose, it looked like. Just, could you just speak on kind of her toughness and, what she means to this team?
Yeah, I mean she's so important for what we do on both ends of the floor. She puts her body on the line literally every single night for us, and always has a very difficult matchup defensively. Just gives everything she has, and that's just who Lan is, as a competitor, and she always gives us a chance to be good on that end of the floor for sure. Just because with her activity and her ability to just be in plays and her physicality for sure.
Okay, let's just talk about how special Fee is. Obviously 7 for 23, but still being able to impact the game on the boards and defensively too. When somebody's struggling like that, how they can continue to better the team on other ends too.
Yeah, I mean we're not the same team without Fee. She does so many things, even just without the scoring. Her ability to just affect every possession, whether it's deflections, rebounds, setting screens, like it's just a little thing. She's just a good basketball player. And at the end of the day, shots go in, shots don't. That's tough life when you're number one on the scouting report, and she's gonna be harder on herself than anybody else because she wants to be great for us, and we know that. And she still manages to do that even on what you would call a tough shooting night.
And how do you guys bounce back from this loss? Obviously, just to get back to Lynx basketball, what do you guys need to do for the next game?
I mean, I think we just need to lock in and make sure that we're playing all 4 quarters of Lynx basketball. We did a great job in the first half, but it was the second half that we let slip. We can never get comfortable. Everyone in this league is here for a reason. Everyone is good, and so it's not even about seeding anymore. It's Cheryl said this where we want to make sure that we are playing our best basketball going into playoffs. So it's not about wins and losses. Of course, we want to win our games, but it's about making sure that we are good in our team. So not thinking about the other teams, but making sure that we're tightened up in all our areas.
Thank you.
Historically good as the Lynx are and or have been in third quarters this season, it's not often to see you on the wrong end of a tilted third. But if I recall correctly, Land takes one on the nose, hits the flagrant shot, puts you guys up 14, then 13-0 run from the Storm, and it kind of just went haywire after that. Was there a specific, moment in Seattle's where you could kind of feel the tide turning, or was it kind of just a culmination
Yeah,
of
it wasn't just the third quarter. We got beat by 27 in the second half. So we only won 1 quarter in this game. That was the first quarter. Um, I think the turn started happening in the second quarter, to be honest with you. Could feel it at halftime coming out. You know, when you're trying to convince your team that you're gonna have to play the first five like it's the last five. Um, and then I thought that they ratcheted up pressure and you know, then we wanted foul calls and foul calls weren't happening. And we didn't have a level of aggression that Seattle had at the defensive end. They made their own breaks and they played off of them. And you know, we allowed them to do that and we didn't provide the resistance at the other end. And, you know, they kicked our ass in the second half.
And then I can't remember what point it was in the game, but we saw Isaac take a fall while backpedaling to get back to something and didn't see him out there afterwards. I'm just curious if that's, you know, protocol when a WNBA official gets
You
injured.
can't go, you can't go.
Do they have officials if it's
Up to the playoffs.
All right. And then also at the end of the third quarter, there's clearly a message relayed from Skylar Diggins to the Lynx bench, which led to, you know, a little bit of a dust up. We also saw you having a conversation with her about midcourt in the waning seconds. Just curious if you can tell us any more about either of those.
I just told her I appreciate her level of compete.
You know, Land does go out with that bloody nose, comes back relatively quickly after that. Just, I know we talk about it a lot, but just Land's ability to bounce back from those situations and her toughness to at least try to give it a go afterwards.
No, she was great. And she always does that for us and, you know, appreciate her getting back out there.
And then obviously, you know, Fee comes back to the lineup. It means Jessica Shepard's minutes and role are a little decreased. Just how difficult is it when you have really 8.5, 9 starters on this team to kind of balance those rotations,
Yeah.
especially in a game like this?
Yeah, especially in a game like this, right? You know, I get to the end of the game and wish we'd done some things differently. Wish Jess would have played more. Wish Nay would have played more. You know, things like that. Yeah, maybe even, you know, T on some level. And when you're not successful, that's certainly what you start to think about.
How do you try to defend the length that they have? They obviously their bigs were out shooting threes, they're inside, outside. How do you try to attack that, knowing that you don't have that size advantage?
On the offensive end or
Yeah,
defensive
on the
end?
offense, but
I mean, I think it's not the first time that we see, every time we play, we see size and we see length. Us in Seattle, we talked about it before the game, or the two leading shot block. We just gave them 10 shot blocks. I mean, that's, you know, it's completely unaware on the offensive end, complete unawareness, and just continue to shoot into them. And as if we did not prepare, if we did not discuss what do you do when this happens. We probably did it, you know, less than a handful of times where we, you know, were able to, you know, play around the bigs, but credit to Seattle. You know, they come in here and obviously didn't go their way early, and they kept competing, and they walked out of here celebrating on our floor.
what do you need to see from the team to bounce back and play Lynx basketball?
I mean, play
Going
some
to
fucking defense, man. Play some defense. Act like that end matters. We have not done that in a long time. And that was the focus. And so you play one quarter of defense. That's it. And then understand, we told them how the team was going to adjust. We told them what Seattle was going to be looking for. We had 12 deflections on the game. That tells you everything. Thanks, everybody. Got anything?
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. That does tell you.
Maybe it's just not.